The strategic landscape of Northern Europe in early 2026 has undergone a fundamental transformation, marked by the full integration of Sweden and Finland into the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. This geopolitical shift is most visible in the skies above the Baltic Sea and the Arctic Circle, where two distinct yet complementary philosophies of aerial warfare are beginning to take shape. While both nations share a common adversary in the east and a common geography characterized by harsh winter conditions and vast forest cover, their choices for the future of their respective air forces represent a fascinating divergence in military doctrine. Finland has committed to the American-made Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II, a platform defined by its fifth-generation stealth and sensor fusion. In contrast, Sweden has doubled down on its sovereign capability with the Saab Gripen E, a fighter designed for high-tempo electronic warfare and decentralized operations. This divergence creates a unique operational synergy that redefines how NATO intends to secure its northernmost flank. The Finnish decision to acquire 64 F-35A aircraft, a deal valued at approximately $9,400,000,000, was driven by the reality of a 1,300-kilometer shared border with Russia. For Helsinki, the primary requirement was the ability to deter a numerically superior force through technological overmatch. The F-35 serves as a first-day-of-war asset designed to operate in highly contested environments where advanced Russian air defense systems like the S-400 would render traditional aircraft vulnerable. As the first Finnish F-35s begin to arrive at the Rovaniemi Air Base in late 2026, the Finnish Defense Forces are gaining a quarterback in the sky. The aircraft's primary advantage is not merely its low radar cross-section, but its ability to collect, process, and distribute massive amounts of data to land and sea-based units. In a high-intensity conflict, the Finnish F-35s are intended to penetrate enemy airspace, identify high-value targets, and remain undetected while coordinating a multi-domain response. Conversely, the Swedish Air Force, which began inducting the Gripen E into its F-7 wing in late 2025, operates under a doctrine of smart power and industrial sovereignty. For Sweden, maintaining a domestic aerospace industry is not just an economic priority, but a strategic necessity. The Gripen E is the culmination of decades of Swedish experience in guerrilla air warfare. Unlike the F-35, which requires sophisticated and centralized maintenance facilities, the Gripen E is engineered for the BAS-90 concept, a system of dispersed operations where aircraft can land, refuel, and rearm on reinforced public highways in less than 10 minutes. This capability ensures that the Swedish Air Force remains operational even if its primary air bases are destroyed by long-range missile strikes. The Swedish philosophy assumes that a conflict will be long and attritional, requiring an aircraft that is easy to maintain with a small team of technicians and conscripts. The technical comparison between the two platforms reveals a clash of engineering priorities. The F-35's stealth is physical, relying on the precise geometry of the airframe and specialized radar-absorbent materials to achieve a radar cross-section often compared to the size of a metal marble. This allows the aircraft to engage targets from beyond visual range before the adversary is even aware of its presence. However, this stealth comes at a high maintenance cost. By 2026, operational data suggests that the cost per flight hour for the F-35A remains significantly higher than its predecessors, often cited at approximately $30,000. Furthermore, the F-35's internal weapons bays, necessary to maintain its stealth profile, limit the number of missiles it can carry in a stealth-first configuration. The Gripen E approaches survivability through a different lens: digital stealth and electronic warfare. Its internal electronic warfare suite is widely considered one of the most advanced in the world, capable of creating a digital shield that jams or deceives enemy radars. Instead of trying to be invisible, the Gripen E aims to be untargetable. Furthermore, the Gripen E is the primary platform for the Meteor Beyond Visual Range air-to-air missile. Utilizing a ramjet engine, the Meteor possesses a no-escape zone significantly larger than that of the American AM-120D AMRAAM typically carried by the F-35. In terms of economics, the Gripen E is designed for high-frequency sorties, with an estimated cost per flight hour of roughly $10,000, allowing Sweden to maintain a higher presence in the sky for every krona spent compared to its neighbors. A critical point of comparison is the radar technology utilized by both aircraft. The F-35's AN/APG-81 is a masterpiece of sensor fusion, optimized for ground mapping and multi-target tracking in a stealthy manner. The Gripen E utilizes the Raven ES-05, an active electronically scanned array radar mounted on a swash plate or rotating repositioner. This unique mechanical mounting allows the radar to scan 60 degrees further to the side than fixed plate radars. In a tactical scenario, a Gripen pilot can fire a missile and then turn away 90 degrees to minimize their own exposure while still providing mid-course updates to the missile via the radar's extreme look angle. This offset tactic is a hallmark of Swedish aerial combat doctrine, allowing the aircraft to maintain a defensive posture while remaining offensively lethal. By 2026, the integration of these two platforms within NATO's command structure has created what military analysts describe as a high-low tactical mix. In a simulated defense of the Baltic states, the Finnish F-35s would likely serve as the hidden eyes, operating in the most dangerous zones to suppress enemy air defenses and provide targeting data. Simultaneously, Swedish Gripen E would act as the high-volume shooters. Because the Gripen E can carry up to 7 Meteor missiles on external hardpoints, it can follow behind the F-35s and engage the bulk of the enemy's fighter screen. The industrial implications of these choices also continue to resonate. The Finnish F-35 program has brought significant industrial participation to Finland, with local companies involved in the assembly of front fuselages and engines. However, the core intellectual property and the software source code remain under American control. Sweden, through Saab, retains full control over the Gripen software, allowing it to integrate new weapons or electronic warfare algorithms within weeks rather than the years often required for international software updates on the F-35. This sovereign edge allows Sweden to adapt its fleet quickly to specific threats detected in the Baltic theater, a capability that Stockholm views as essential for national resilience. In conclusion, the duel between the Saab Gripen E and the F-35 Lightning II in the Nordic region is not a competition for supremacy, but an exercise in strategic diversity. Finland has prioritized the absolute deterrent value of fifth-generation stealth to protect its long border, while Sweden has prioritized the agility, cost-effectiveness, and independence of its domestic aerospace industry. As of 2026, the result is a Northern Europe that possesses a dual-layered defense. The Watcher, F-35, and the Warrior, Gripen E, now operate in a seamless data-linked environment, ensuring that any potential incursion into Nordic airspace would encounter a defense system that is simultaneously invisible, dispersed, and technologically superior. This combination ensures that the tyranny of distance in the Arctic remains a challenge for the aggressor, while the transparency of the battlefield remains the advantage of the defenders.